All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yay.
Hey, Jay.
What's going on? What's going on?
What time is it there?
5:30 in the morning.
You're a saint.
I
All
got
right.
you back.
So we probably will have a couple more people hopping on. I appreciate everyone for being here, being on time. I know some of you have been with me for the last month on every session, so I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate you tuning in, staying engaged. For those of you that are new tonight, I appreciate you hopping on. If you don't have a notebook and a pen, I urge you to grab one. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to go ahead and get that together. While you're doing that, some of you may not know me, so I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Chelsea Atkins. I am from Toledo, Ohio, just south of Detroit. I'm 34 years old, and I was introduced to Forex by my husband about 2 years ago. I decided in about September that I was gonna take this opportunity full time. I left my job at the end of October, and I've been fully focused on Forex from that moment on. I decided that I was gonna join IM Academy so that I could be free, whatever that means to you. But to me, it basically means to be able to find financial freedom, to pay down that student loan debt that I have, to have freedom of my time. So to be a better wife, a better mother, a better friend to all those people that I wasn't able to spend as much time or energy on because I was working in corporate America. My time in corporate America was spent trying to achieve unachievable goals. And I've found that with my Forex trading family, I have been able to focus more on growing my family, growing my wealth, growing my team. And now I have work-life balance. I'm my own boss. I control my own destiny. I control my own schedule, which is amazing. I have an unlimited supply of resources here. I have a great team that helps support, mentor, and lead me as I come through this wonderful path. And I'm super excited to share this evening with you all. I do like it if you guys are interactive. So if you want to, go ahead and feel free to unmute yourselves, ask questions. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. I know sometimes the group setting can be intimidating, but the more questions you ask, the more you'll learn. So I appreciate everybody for being here. We'll go ahead and get started going through the presentation. So I know some of you guys are newer. If any of you guys have started in the last week, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat just so that I can get a bearing of what I'm working with tonight and what all we actually need to go over. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Hopefully you get a lot out of our session tonight. I am gonna break down just kind of the 30-day quick start that I like to share with my personal team. Hopefully it's helpful for you. And I know we have some guests on tonight that have not joined IM Academy or joined any of our teams. So I will break down a little bit more as far as what Forex is, things like that, just so that we can get going. So what is Forex? The foreign exchange market. So we're able to exchange national currencies against one another. We're able to basically make money off of different world currencies gaining and losing strength. So if you've traveled to Canada, you've traveled to Mexico, you've traveled overseas, when you exchange those currencies, basically the US dollar is worth a certain value, the Canadian dollar is worth a certain value. And the way that we make money in Forex is those currencies gaining and losing strength. It is a $6.6 trillion per day market that's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you have that time, 24 hours a day, to make money. If you're someone who's working full time and you get up extra early to get your day started, you can start trading before you even go to work. If you are someone who's working from home, you can make your trading schedule around your kids. If you're someone who is attending college, going to school, you can make your trading schedule around your classes. So literally, this is the job that you control. And it's not even really a job, it's a skill set. So I do think that I will hear, I've had a lot of questions as far as how do we make money in Forex. So I am gonna play one of the videos from our IM Academy. We have an educator who actually does a boot camp for our newly signed on people. And I'm gonna play this video just to kind of show what we're looking at when we look at the market. And this is actually right from the curriculum that we share when you decide to join our team.
Welcome back to the IML Academy. In this video, we're going to be discussing the difference between a buy and a sell in the Forex market. Now, as a trader, it's very important that you understand the difference between the two, because you can make money both buying and selling currency pairs in the financial exchange market. So to better understand the psychology of this, let's begin to think like a retailer. A retailer likes to purchase goods when they're low and sell goods when they're high. The reason being is because as the goods exchange in value, they stand to make a profit. Now, we can apply the same exact concept to the Forex market, where we're buying and selling currency pairs and making money as the value is exchanging. Let's take a look at the live charts here. We went ahead and highlighted different points in the market where the market was high and low. These are the best places for a trader to want to buy and sell inside of the market. The whole goal of making money is to learn when to buy, and you make money as the exchange rate is changing. As an example, when the market is extremely low, we look to put in buy orders, and as the market is coming up, we get to make money. And the same is as true as when the market is high in several examples here. When the market comes to a high point, we look to sell, and as the market comes down, we're able to make money, okay? Now, a little bit of vocabulary just for you guys. As the market is beginning to come up, you will hear a trader say the market is going long. Long simply means the market is gonna start going in an uptrending motion. That means that the trader is gonna get ready to buy the currency pair. Now, when a trader says we're going to short the currency pair, that means that the trader is going to sell a certain currency pair and expect the market to come down. Now, the only exception to the foreign exchange market is that you want to be sure that you're on the right side of buying versus selling. I'm going to show you an example here. Let's say you're looking to put in a long position or a buy position right here, and you're expecting the market to come up. If you are correct, then what will happen is that you would begin to make money. However, if you put in a buy order and the market begins to come down, this is where you lose money inside of the market. So as a trader, it's very important that you continue to develop your skills so you're able to identify the high and low points in the market so you know when to buy and when to sell. That concludes our training on buying versus selling in the foreign exchange market. We hope you enjoyed this information, and we'll see you in the next video.
just wanted to share that with everyone because I have had a lot of questions as far as what is actually, can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure. Rachel just said that she can't hear. Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to share that because I do get a lot of questions as far as buying and selling. So you don't necessarily have to physically have something to be able to sell in the Forex market. So a little bit different than the stock market, where if you're selling in the stock market, you're actually going to physically own a company's stock. Once it grows, typically you would look to sell it off so that you can make your profit. Forex, we can buy and sell as currencies weaken or get stronger. So we're able to make money both ways. If the market crashes, if we go into a recession, if anything crazy worldwide happens and a certain currency becomes weaker or stronger, we're able to make money both ways. So we have a job regardless. We have an opportunity to be entrepreneurs and make money regardless of what happens in the market. And then here, this is the 30-day quick start that I kind of put together for my team. Gwen has actually, she started me on this when I first started. I've added a couple of things just for that, a little bit more detail, just certain things that I found that were extremely beneficial to me when I first started, and then some things that have actually started happening since I started that have been beneficial to many of my first time traders. So I will go ahead and let you guys, if you want to screenshot this, I can post it into our Discord chat as well. So if you are a newer trader and you haven't completed these steps, this is definitely a nice little outline of what you should be doing as you move through kind of the first 30 to 45 days. Obviously, depending on your time schedule, things like that, it may take you a little bit longer. You don't have to necessarily stay within the time frame, but it does give you the opportunity to kind of look at different things, make sure that you're following along. So if for those of you that have started within the last week, I do want to kind of have you guys give me some feedback. If you have your MT4 set up so that you're able to start trading, if you've chosen a broker, if you haven't opened a demo or a live account can actually wait a little bit longer, but if you haven't opened your demo account so that you can start practicing trading or anything like that, or if you haven't seen TradingView, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat just so that I know what I have to go in depth on and what I don't. Okay. So for those of you that are newer, I will go through here. So many of you are probably already in our Discord chat. Go ahead and disregard this section right here. You may see different chats just depending on what team you are on. We do ask that if you have joined our Discord family, if you can go ahead and make your username at minimum your first name and your IML ID number. Makes it really helpful for the admins to make sure that you're in the proper groups, make sure that you have access to the right things. We want to make sure that everybody is able to see what they're supposed to see. Discord is our team chat. It's really, really beneficial because we get input from a lot of different team members. We're able to share it with guests so that they can kind of tune in to what we're doing. We're able to share our charts. So if we're analyzing a chart, looking at a certain pair, we can kind of get feedback from each other. And then we're also able to view recorded trainings, things like that. So If you hop onto a training, sometimes we are able to record them, and then we'll post them just so that you can go back and review those opportunities. If you see something on a training that you don't quite understand, I really, really suggest you going back and watching that recording, just because it is super helpful to be able to kind of take notes at your own pace, pause, especially if people are doing markups and you're practicing your markups. You can always put the markup on the video and then go ahead and try for yourself and kind of follow step by step along with them. That was really, really helpful for me when I was starting along. And then, so MetaTrader 4, if anyone doesn't have this downloaded at minimum on your phone, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat for me. And this is for people who are actively trading or new to our trading family. Okay, so it looks like pretty much everyone has access to that. Everyone has gotten that downloaded on their phone. There is 2 different versions. So sometimes if you're watching videos, definitely make sure that you're watching a video that goes along with whatever phone you have. So as you can see, the Android app is a little bit different than the iPhone app. Everything that we do in this group, we strongly encourage you to do market execution. You will learn about buy stops, buy limits, sell stops, and sell limits in your training. But because we are basically working off of market structure and looking for optimal entries, we typically do everything at market execution. So if you have any questions on that, definitely reach out to the person who invited you, or you're more than welcome to reach out to me as well. And then this just kind of gives an example. So we have awesome mentors on our team: Stevenson, Terrell, Sewell, Marios, all of them. So they are all working to basically help the team find the optimal trades. So they will drop things in our Discord group in the signals area, basically that give you an idea of what the best entry is, where your stop loss should be, take profits, things like that. So those are definitely good opportunities to practice your trades. So if you're still in that demo mode, when they post those signals, go ahead and put those right into your demo account so that you can get that practice of entering a trade. Because once it gets to the situation where you're working with your own money, it becomes a little bit more stressful. So the more that you can practice and make sure that you're entering the numbers correctly and understand what a stop loss is, what your take profit is, how to move up your stop loss, how to manage your trade, the better you'll be once you actually start trading live. Does anyone have any questions as far as entering trades, MT4, anything like that?
AC, this is Jamie. I want to say this. This is absolutely remarkable. I think this needs to be the face for the team. This is so simplistic and duplicatable. Great job.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, Chelsea, I gotta agree. Like, this is awesome. I love this. Absolutely love this. Like, seriously. Like, I think we need more people on these calls. Like, this, and I'm not even gassing you up, hyping you up. Like Jamie said. And what's good? Like, you do this. It's not like you're coming off timid, scared, or anything. Like, you present well. Like, I wish I would have known this sooner. I would have had your ass doing this a lot earlier. So, nah, good job. No, seriously, I like this a lot.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you hopping on. Okay. I love you guys. This is the best team. Okay, so trading view. We're going to touch on this a little bit more at the end of our session. I am going to actually do a couple of live markups just to show the market structure, things like that. So TradingView is actually the free website that we use to analyze our charts, where we are able to log in. You can see where the market stands, different things like that. So if you have not set up your TradingView account, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and go in there. It is super, super important, especially when you're beginning, to shoot for marking up 25 charts a week. I personally like to mark up my charts over the weekend while the market is closed. If you are really, really struggling to find that time to mark up 25 charts at a time, break it down into a couple of days. That's totally fine. But the more practice you use, the better it'll be. The more comfortable you are, the more you train your eyes to look for the different patterns that we're looking for and everything like that. It's extremely, extremely important. And I have spent so much time trying to make sure that I am properly analyzing the charts. I ask for feedback from my team. I drop my charts in Discord so that I can get that feedback from everybody. And it really, really, really is an awesome way to learn. I tune into the trainings that we have available. You know, Stevenson marks up for us every Sunday and Tuesday night. He does private sessions with our team Tuesday through Thursday mornings to look at the best setups. I watch those over and over again just to try and train my eyes to see the things that he's seeing. Gwen does her chart and chill and Forex and chill on Thursday and Friday nights. I'm always on those sessions because it is extremely important. This is the most important part of being able to understand and learn the structure of the market. So has anyone not set up their trading account, their TradingView account or anything like that? If not, you go to tradingview.com. I know some people do mark up their charts on MT4. I personally prefer to mark up my charts on TradingView and place my trades on MT4. So just the best practice for me. You can also download the app on your phone. That way when you set alerts for the price to come to a certain area, it'll alert directly to your phone. And then another trick that I've learned, and I'll show you guys when we actually dive into the charts a little bit, you can actually create a watch list. So I've actually created a list of all of the pairs that Stevenson marks up on Sundays and Tuesdays. And I've also actually added additional pairs just that I've, learned about as I've gone through watching the team and different things like that. Another thing that you have access to when you have the team, when you're on our team, we have this awesome website that some of the leaders in our group took upon themselves to create. It does give you the ability to kind of understand Discord, how to set up a broker account, how the copy and paste trades actually work, the overview of IM Academy, harmonic scanner, and then also if you're looking for your 2 and free or building a residual income, it kind of gives you that opportunity there as well. So if anyone is new on the call and hasn't signed up, you go to www.jobforwhatfx.com. It is eventually, we'll have like the team training on there, the training schedules, things like that. But it does have a lot of really nice beginners videos so that as you're moving through the processes, it kind of gives you a good idea and a good reference to be able to go through. And I'll go ahead and drop just in case anybody doesn't have it. Go ahead and go there, sign in. You do have to be an active IM Academy member to be able to sign into that, but it is one of the resources that you'll get access to if you do decide to join in the near future. And then obviously IM.Center. So this is where you're going to get a majority of your trainings, your curriculum. You'll have access to the hundreds of IM educators that we have. We have Pip Talk that works very similarly to Twitter. So if you want to follow Stevenson Lindor and understand what trades he's looking at throughout the week, things like that, if you miss his calls, you can actually subscribe to his channel. If there's other educators that you really enjoy, you can subscribe to their channels as well. If you have the app on your phone, you'll get an alert directly to your phone, which is amazing. The Academies has the full curriculum for you. So I actually showed you guys earlier when I was playing the video. So we have this entire curriculum. So it basically breaks down from the very, very basic, what is Forex, all the way to the advanced of understanding different patterns within the market, harmonics, different strategies that people will use, continuation patterns, all of those things, support and resistance, you know, when to trade, all of that stuff. It basically walks you through every single thing. So not only do they give you a video, they also have an IM educator who does a boot camp. So you're able to tune into that, watch his sessions, answer questions or ask questions live. You can also tune into any educator sessions throughout the week, and I'll show you guys that schedule there. So this is the boot camp that I was talking about. So Manny hosts this Tuesday through Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. If you are new, I definitely strongly recommend you going to his Go Live, checking out those boot camp sessions. If you're struggling to follow along with entering trades, anything like that, he does a really awesome job going in depth on the IM curriculum. So check those out. They are also recorded. So if you've missed any of the sessions, you can always go back and rewatch as well, which is an awesome, awesome resource that we have with IM Academy. And then I was just kind of wanted to show you guys. So we have the Forex basics training. So if you're just getting started, we have new trader orientations. We have Forex basics classes, Forex Basics 101. There are so many different educators that are out here to help you learn and get started as you're going through that process. Obviously, you have your Discord family to lean on as well. But if you're looking for, you know, some additional resources, you're paying for IM Academy, utilize those resources. Be as engaged as you possibly can. The more you learn, the more in-depth opportunities that you take to enhance this skill set, enhance your education, take advantage of it. Not every platform, every team is going to give you what we have with our Discord family. You know, Linder, Terrell, Gwen, Marios, they all go above and beyond. But this is another resource that you have at the tip of your fingers that you can tune into at any time. All right, so I know I went through that pretty quickly. I know some of the people that have been on here with me for the last couple of weeks, you've seen that presentation a few times, but anyone who has hopped on for the first time tonight, does anyone have any questions or anything like that? You can go ahead and unmute yourself. You're more than welcome to ask in the chat. Okay, so we're good then. All right, this is one of my favorite quotes. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. So in the Forex market, this isn't something that someone's going to send you a couple of numbers and you're going to make money off of it. This is something that you're going to have to learn and understand. You're going to have to understand the patterns. You're going to have to learn the ins and the outs, the definitions, how the market works, how the market moves. But being on a team and being surrounded by people who are doing the same thing and honing in on their craft as well, what a better place to be. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And then for those of you that are newer, there are multiple sessions within the market. So I mentioned earlier that the market is open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Right here, you will see the different sessions that the market is open in. So we have Sydney, Tokyo, London, and New York. Those sessions do overlap during certain points. So you will see that Sydney and Tokyo overlap, London and New York overlap, Tokyo and London overlap for about an hour. So just understanding what time frames the market is open, what pairs are going to move during those sessions. And then as a best practice that I have learned from my team, avoid trading from 5 to 7. Find something else to do. Eat dinner, spend time with your family, exercise, I don't know. But during 5 to 7, the spreads can be really, really huge. There's not really a whole lot happening. Some of the pairs actually are closed in between that time frame. So 5 to 6, I know gold, some of the indices, metals, things like that. So if you're not in the trade already, don't put a trade in between 5 and 7. It can wait, I promise you. And then when you are trading, there are different confirmations. So yes, we get signals. Yes, we have the harmonic scanner. Yes, someone may drop a chart and say, hey, I like GU today, and I think it's in a great place. Just because Bob Smith from Missouri drops his chart and says, I think GBP USD is in the perfect place to trade, it's not Bob Smith's money. It's your money. So make sure that you're using your confirmation checklist before you are hopping into a trade. As a beginner, you don't want to trade against the trend. And I will go over that when we go into the charts, but you want to make sure that if the market is buying, you want to be buying. If the market is selling, you should be selling. Don't be trying to trade all the buys and all the sells. If the market is at the highest that it's been in years, don't try and put a buy in unless you get a strong confirmation that it's going to continue pushing up. If the market's at the lowest point that it has been in years, don't try and put a sell in unless you have a strong confirmation that it's going to go ahead and sell down. Support, resistance, supply, demand, all of those things are extremely important in understanding where you are in the market. You also want to pay attention to what the market is doing. So you don't want to enter when the market is strongly pushing up on an impulse. You want to look for the proper entry in your correction or your reversal pattern, and we'll go over this. And then you also want to look for market exhaustion. Or if the market has broken a previous high or low. You can also use the harmonic scanner tool that we have as an additional confirmation. And I'm going to show you guys that here in a couple minutes as well. And then, so here I'm talking about analyzing the market. What Stevenson, Terrell, Gwen, all of them, what they teach us, market structure. They don't teach us something fancy. They don't teach us a fancy strategy or using a certain indicator to predict when you're going to hop in. We use market structure. We look at the market. We look at from the highest time frame down to the lowest time frame. And we want to understand what the market's doing, when it's going to do it, and how we're going to get there. So looking for our entry. I have written these details down in my trading notebook thousands of times. I'm not kidding you. I have 3 notebooks that I've filled since October because I'm a meticulous note taker. So on the monthly, weekly, and daily, you want to look at what the market's doing. So in order to do that, in the monthly, weekly, and daily, we're going to look to box in price. Monthly, we're going to look at our most recent highs and lows. Weekly, we're looking at the strongest trend or pattern that we're looking at. Same with the daily. As we move down to the lower time frames, we want to understand when the market is actually going to make its move. You're going to start looking to box in flags, look for continuation and correction patterns. You're going to look at where it actually is within that correction or reversal pattern. And then you're going to start to look for your entry. The market moves in 3 simple directions. We have our impulse, we have our correction or our reversal pattern, and then we have our continuation or our reversal. So if the market is buying, we're buying up. We'll get a correction or a flag, so it'll sell down a little bit, and then it'll actually continue to the upside. If we're looking at a sell, we're looking for our impulse down. Our correction on a sell would be actually a buy. And then we would be looking for its continuation to the downside. And this is just, this is a chart that I had marked up a couple of weeks ago. So this is actually Bitcoin, just to kind of show a live look at what those correction and reversal patterns look like. So here we had our impulse up, we had our flag, which pulled back and then continued to the upside. Once it hit this area, it actually started to give us a reversal pattern. So we have an ascending channel. So it continued to go up this way, and then it reversed and gave us a reversal impulse to the downside. After that, it was coming to our trend line area. So it gave us another reversal pattern, which is a descending channel, and it actually gave us another reversal impulse to the upside. So at this point, I had gotten a proper flag. I was looking for my buy at the bottom of this flag for the continuation to the upside because I was in an uptrend. Do we have any questions at this point?
Keep doing your thing, lady.
Thank you.
Hello?
Keep doing your thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to go over the previous slide?
Hold on. This one?
It was about the, yes, about how the market moves.
Yep.
Just, I didn't get to write notes on it.
You're okay.
Like,
You're totally fine.
okay.
I'm here for you
Thank
guys. So whatever you need, I'm glad that you shouted out that you needed to go back to it. Do you need me to go over a certain part?
Like I was following, but I just wish I took notes so I can like compound it to memory. It's like,
Are you on your computer?
Right. I am not. For some reason, it's not connecting in my room, so I'm on my phone.
Okay. If you want to take a screenshot, I can
I did.
also. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so are you good on this slide now?
Yes, I'm good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a couple of markups for you guys. Now, I had talked about TradingView earlier. So TradingView is where we actually mark up our charts. This is USD Chef. I'm kind of watching this one a little bit. But I do want to show you guys something that I learned after a couple of months of trading that completely changed my life. So up in the right-hand corner, if you're not aware, you can actually create a watch list so that you have all of the pairs. So when I mentioned earlier, you should mark up 25 pairs a week. Well, hey, Chelsea, what pairs should I really be marking up? You can save them to a list. So if you click this watch list tab, sorry, my computer's going crazy. Okay, so if you click this watch list tab, you can search any pair. Once you click on it, it adds it to your list. You can click this symbol button and it'll sort them alphabetically for you. And then if you have the free account, It'll allow you to flag them in one color. So if you have certain pairs that people are telling you to look at, you can actually flag those. I have these marked off by different colors. So pairs that I'm looking at, pairs that my mentors are looking at. I have the pro version of TradingView, so I'm able to do different colors, but in the free version, you do have the ability to do at least one color. So if you're hopping on Stevenson's calls or Terrell's calls or Gwen's calls and they're saying, hey, I'm looking at this pair, flag it. Because not every single pair is going to be in the appropriate place to be looking for a buy or a sell. You always want to look for the best setup. You don't want to be trying to trade in the middle of, you know, a high and a low. You don't want to be looking to trade at something that isn't an obvious setup. So these are great opportunities to be able to kind of focus on certain pairs. I myself typically narrow it down to between 5 and 10 pairs that I'm watching for the week, unless one of my mentors suggests another pair. My goal is to have my pairs be similar to theirs, but being able to flag and have that watch list, it gives you the ability to be able to save your pairs as you mark them up. You don't have to go back and be searching because there are different brokers that are on TradingView. So once they're in your watch list, you don't have to go back and look for your different markups. Does anyone have a pair that they would like to see me mark up tonight? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself, or I will just go ahead and pick a pair. Stephanie, I will post the recording on Discord tonight. I'll probably have it in there tomorrow morning once everything processes, but I will have it available for you. Everybody wants to look at GU. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. If anyone else has anything else. Feel free to drop it or unmute yourself, or if you have questions. As I'm going through this, so I know that we talked about, sorry, I was teaching, I think we would mark this one up last week. Let me clear it out. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we do top-down analysis. So we start at our monthly, weekly, and daily, and then drop down. For those of you that are newer, if you put stars next to these different time frames here in TradingView, it'll actually put them right at the top of your TradingView for you. That way you don't have to do this little drop down every single time. Same with your tools. So if you're consistently going to use a trend line, a horizontal line, a horizontal ray, whatever tools you prefer to use as you're marking up, if you put a star next to it, it'll create a separate little toolbar that you can move on your screen so that you don't have to continue going to the little drop down every single time. So here we are on the monthly. I'm drawing already. Does anyone remember what we want to look for on our monthly? Highs and lows, perfect. We'll look at Euro odd and UJ as well. Okay, so I also want to give a little dissertation, I guess not really a dissertation, but your charts aren't always going to look like the people that you're watching. Some people use rays, some people use horizontal lines, some people use a solid trend line. Some people use a hashed trend line. My typical markups, I do in black and white. So whatever makes it easiest for you to be able to look at the market and understand it, however it's easiest for you to understand the story, do what's best for you. Your chart doesn't have to look like my chart. As long as we're both predicting the same move, or you have a reason why your move doesn't look like my move, your chart doesn't always have to look like mine. So I personally, I use the horizontal ray when I'm looking for my highs and lows. You want to look for your most recent high and your most recent low. You don't want to go back too far. So just going right here, we're in 2017. So this for me is my most recent low. And then here is my most recent high. These areas are also what we were talking about in as far as supply and demand, support and resistance. So your supply and your resistance are going to be areas of sellers. So where the market is coming to, every time it touches there, you're looking for a sell down, or you're looking for a confirmation that it's going to push through that area. An area of supply or an area of resistance can become your area of demand or your area of support. If price breaks through and continues to go through that area, that will become your new demand area or your new support area. Similar with your areas of demand and support. This is going to be the bottom, the area for buyers. So when price comes to that area, you're looking for a buy. So as you can see previously, this support right here, or I'm sorry, this resistance or supply area right here at one point was a demand zone. So when price came to this area, it bought. And then eventually it broke through and the market created a new demand or support area. So dropping down to our weekly, we want to look for our most recent trend. So on this, I see a pretty strong uptrend. Every time that price comes to this area, it bounces off and continues to the upside. And we're already able to see some of those continuation patterns. So we have our impulse. We have our correction. And because we're in an uptrend, we're looking for our continuation to the upside. Now, mind you, this is our weekly time frame. We don't really want to make that assumption at this point and just decide that we're going to be in a buy. I just wanted to show what that can look like. So we want to drop down to our daily. When you're on your daily time frame, the most recent trend can be different than the most recent trend on your weekly. For the reason being that you have your impulse and your correction. So when you're impulsing in a buyer's market, the market makes its strong move to the upside. But as you can see, as it corrects itself, it's essentially selling back down. So looking at this, are we still in an uptrend on our daily time frame, or are we looking for another, should we be adding another trend line?
Still an uptrend.
Okay. So I personally, I'm going to box this area in, just because when I'm looking in the past, when price comes to this trend line, it starts making its move up. Does everybody see that? Okay, so I'm going to leave this trend line here just for my reminder. And as we drop down time frames, it'll help us box price in. So here we are on the 4 hour. And I like to, as Gigi says, scrunch it out so that we can get the full picture. So what do we notice on our 4 hour? Does anyone see anything that they'd like to shout out? Okay.
I see a descending channel. It's hitting that. It's hitting your trend line. It may go ahead and retest it one more time, then go ahead and pop up to the north.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to box this in. And then also, you can have a pattern within another pattern. So I see this happening. And I want to hone in on that as I drop time frames. So here we had an impulse down. Rather than our correction, which would be a buy, price is actually continuing to correct and consolidate to the downside. So this is a key area to look at because it's a reversal pattern that's starting to create. So as I drop down on my 1 hour, this is where we actually want to start looking at how we're going to enter and what our next prediction or our next move is. So we can see here, we identified on the 4 hour, we have a descending channel that's happening. We're also coming to our weekly trend line. Because this is a reversal pattern, I want to watch price here. I want to watch it in this area because my prediction, because of my previous time frames, is that price is at least going to bounce off here and buy up within this channel that we have happening. When it comes to this area, I want to watch and see if it's actually going to continue going up or if we're going to get another reversal pattern and retest this trend line again. So the market's going to tell you what it's going to do with those continuation and those reversal patterns. So as I drop down to my 30-minute, and I'm not going to go into actual entries or anything like that tonight. I just want to make sure that everyone understands the actual structure of the market and what we should be looking for on each time frame. So I know that within this descending channel, price moved up. We got a correction. It tried to break out. We got a reversal pattern, and I'm going to zoom in on that. So you see here it impulsed. We got a teeny tiny descending channel. No, that's not a descending channel. What am I doing? Price basically reversed here, came back down and retested. We got that. Our correction continued. Correction continued. Another correction, and it continued. And then when it hit the bottom of this descending channel, it reversed again, and we got our move to the upside. So as you can see, in these areas, it'll tell you what it's going to do. And just understanding those patterns and those correction patterns and all of that will help you be able to understand what that next move is going to be. So overall, I'm looking for a buy on GU. But I want to see it pull into this area and retest that area before it makes its move to the upside. Everyone who wanted to look at GU, is that helpful for you? Awesome. Okay, so we had someone ask for UJ, I think it was. Perfect. All right, Tim, so let's do UJ. And on this one, feel free to shout out. I'm gonna kind of have you guys, because the more you guys can practice and understand what we're looking for on each time frame, the more it'll ingrain it into your brain, the easier it'll be as you're going through these markups without someone asking you those questions. You'll actually, if you're anything like me, you'll say them out loud. Okay, on my monthly, I'm looking for my highs and my lows. On my weekly, I'm looking for my trend. You can also adjust on your toolbar. So if you can't see your highs and your lows very well, if you drag that up and down. Okay, so what are we looking for on our monthly?
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Perfect.
Most recent high, most recent low.
Does everybody agree with where I put my lines?
Looks good.
Perfect. Okay. So weekly, what are we looking for?
Trend.
Are we in an up or a downtrend?
Uptrend.
Up. Now question. Are we overall down or are we overall up?
Down.
So what I see an impulse. I see a correction. I see a continuation. I see a correction. So I personally, on my weekly, would put a downtrend. I will drop down to our daily. What's the most significant trend on our daily?
Up.
Yep. And why are we in an uptrend on our daily?
Correction.
Awesome. So I'll do that again. So we have our impulse. We have our correction. Because we're in a sell, our correction is going to be a buy, which would be an uptrend. We have our continuation. And then we have our correction, which is a buy, which is an uptrend. So on our daily, we're buying, but overall, looking at the market, we're selling. Does that make sense for everybody? If you don't understand, that's fine. It took me a while to see those patterns and to understand why it was doing that.
Makes perfect sense, especially when you're doing it.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So just knowing that I'm in an overall downtrend and I have my impulse, I have my correction, my continuation, and my correction, just being on my daily, I'm looking for my next move down. I want to watch price in that area. So I'll drop down to my 4 hour. And I want to see what price does when it comes into that area that I highlighted. So we know we're in a correction. And if you see here, price bounced off that trend line. We had a reversal pattern when it came to our weekly trend line, which told us that price was going to reverse back to the downside. When it came back to this area on our daily trend line, we got another reversal here. And it moved back up. So now we're looking to see if price is going to give us a flag and break out, or if it's going to go ahead and push up to here, give us our reversal pattern, and move back with our ultimate trend. So I can see here, now that I drop down to my 1 hour, I see a reversal pattern forming right here. This is an ascending channel. So this tells me that as I move down, Price is going to reverse there, and I'm going to watch when it gets back down to this area if we're going to get our breakout and get our ultimate move, or if it's going to retest and continue consolidating within that correction. So overall on UJ, I'm looking for the sell. And then once we get down to this area of demand or support, I'll watch price here to see what it's going to do. And if you look on your higher time frames, if price breaks out of here, I'm going to look there to see what the next move is going to be. Just because if you look back in time, you can see that price bounced off of that area and continued buying in the past. Watch price in a certain area. So what I mean by watching price in a certain area, I'll show you guys. I think I still have it marked up. What I mean by that is I don't necessarily want to be entering a trade just because it comes to that area and in the past it has bought. Just because it comes to these highs and lows doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to buy or sell. So on oil, for example, I see here that when price came to this area, typically it consolidated or it tested that area and it bought up. Just because price has had a problem breaking through that area. I see here that I have a reversal pattern happening. I have a descending channel happening. So I'm not necessarily entering a trade just because it's coming to this zone, but I want to watch and see what's going to happen next so that I can get a strong confirmation that I'm actually going to get that buy. I want to make sure that it's actually going to happen. And here, this reversal pattern is giving me a pretty strong confirmation that eventually it's going to buy. But I want to see if it's going to buy just because it came to this area. And if it doesn't, I'll go down to the next area of support or demand or supply or resistance to see what that next move is going to be. Does that answer your question, Tim?
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome, Tim. Okay. So the person who requested UJ, I'm sorry, I don't have everybody's names written down. Does that help for your analysis, or does it make sense at what I was looking at? Oh, it was you, Tim. Sorry. Okay. So Euro odd. All right. So I'm going to let you guys teach me. On the monthly, what are we looking at?
Highs and lows.
Okay. Will we say my high is here? Or here?
right there.
And the reason that I would pick there is because I see price struggling. It tried to break out in these areas, but as you can see, it pulled back. And then here, same thing, price is basically bouncing off of that area. And then my low, will we say here? Or do I need to move it up?
Move it up.
Okay, here,
Move it up again.
there,
I will go up some more.
there,
One more time.
there.
There.
Okay. So on my weekly, what am I looking for?
Uptrend.
The trend.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pull this down just a smidge. Just because this is where price really started to do that uptrend. On my daily, are we still in an uptrend or are we in a different trend? I'm just gonna box this in right here. And then on my 4 hour, this is where I'm gonna start looking for patterns, reversals, things like that. So here I see my impulse, see my correction, my continuation. Here it came to that area of support, or I mean resistance, I'm sorry. I always want to say support. So we got that and it reversed. Here we're getting a correction, and this is our continuation. So I see that every time price comes to this area of this trend line, it buys. So I want to look at this area when I drop down to my next time frame. Does anybody see anything happening that's going to give us an idea of what's going to happen next when it comes to this trend line?
It's going to reverse.
Yep. So we have a descending channel happening, which gives us an idea of reversal. So I think that when it gets to this area, that it's going to buy up. So I want to drop down to the next time frame and watch for that to happen. And you can set alerts. So when price comes to that area, You'll get an alert to your phone. You'll get an alert to your trading view on your computer. You can set it up so that it will email you, whatever is easiest. So when price comes to that area, you can look for that next move. So you don't really have to be married to your phone, your computer, all of that. That's the glory of being able to set alerts. So overall, we're looking for price to pull back into this area and give us that next move to the upside, which from here to there is a good 300 pips. I would watch it here just to see if it breaks through. But that's still a good 150 from that trend line area. Is that helpful? Perfect. All right. Do we want to see one more pair or should we wrap up? I know we've been on here about an hour and a half. I want to be conscious of everybody's time, but I also want to make sure that you guys are getting what you need. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Is there anything that anyone needs help with specifically? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate all of you guys hopping on. I appreciate you guys being engaged, staying in tune. I hope this was helpful for you. I will be continuing to do these trainings on Monday nights, typically at 9:30. If something happens where we have to change the time, I will definitely be in contact. Once a month, I will do like an in-depth beginners setting up MT4, all of that. If anyone needs help, I do want to share here. I do have a YouTube that I upload my videos to. I will also drop them in Discord. And then if you have questions, you can either find me in Discord. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram as well, whatever's easiest for you. I had a great team to help support and back me when I was starting. I have been where many of you are, where these patterns don't make sense. You feel like you're never going to learn. I promise you, you will. Stay engaged, keep taking notes, keep tuning in. Stay in contact with the person who invited you. If you're struggling, they will be super helpful. It's not embarrassing. They started where you were as well. Some of them probably have the same struggles that you may be having. If you aren't getting what you need or you feel like you need some more input, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, reach out to Gwen, Terrell, whoever, Stevenson. We're all here to support and help you. That's what I love about this team the most. And as long as no one has any questions or anything, I'll go ahead and hop off. Again, I appreciate you all and I hope to see you all next week. Thank you so much. Thank you guys, you're so welcome.